I miss us. And I think you might even miss you too. You're gonna be like, why do you miss me? Why do you miss us? And when I say I miss us, I mean I miss who we used to be as a society, like just how carefree it felt like we were. Um, which could totally not be true. We could have been, and the years I'm referencing are like 2017, 2018, 2019, 2017 to 2019. Um, yeah, I could be making it up that we were carefree. Maybe we weren't carefree at all. But it just feels like ever since the pandemic, the vibes have obviously shifted, everything changed. But it just feels like everything about the world is supporting fear or inspiring fear and just a lack of free free energy. If that make Does that make sense? I guess what I mean is it doesn't feel carefree. Like it doesn't feel like anybody's like living their best life. It doesn't feel like anybody is just like, it feels like we have all been marred by something, whether it was the pandemic or just life in general. It just feels okay. I won't say everybody, I'll say me. Like I feel for sure that I've been marred by something that kind of reverted me back to who I was in like 2015, which was not 2015, 2016, because I started having anxiety attacks and I didn't know what they were, but the vibe within me shifted. I just became so pessimistic, so negative, and I could not see the forest for the trees. You know what I mean? After I acknowledged and found out, what was going on with me, and I started taking the steps to, kind of get over anxiety, which you don't really get over, you just learn to cope with like every other mental illness. But after that time, what helped me so much was a handful of YouTubers that really promoted positivity and spiritual enlightenment. Like they helped me to cope so much and I forgot about it, which is actually why I'm making this video, because I went through my YouTube history and I saw them, Hitomi and Megan Hughes, and it reminded me so much. Such a shocking throwback to watch those videos. Like I've been watching their videos for the past few days and catching up with them as well, like not just sitting around watching their old videos, but newer videos as well. And I just it made me realize the difference that I feel in life, because after I found them and after I was on my enlightenment journey and I was trying to really get out of pessimism mode, and they helped me so much. Back then I loved those YouTubers who just sat down and chit chatted. And it's not that people don't do that anymore, but you have an attachment to those older YouTubers. I don't know. Newer content creators, I'm like I'll watch whatever I gravitate towards too, but they just had it. They just had something. I don't know. But I feel like that is also what I'm describing anyway. It's just back then we could inspire hope. Back then, it felt like the people who were talking to you really believed in something and they were really passionate about it. And it felt inspiring because we were obviously so young back then and we were so green, and we were entering a time in life, or amidst a time in life, where we were experiencing a lot of like political change and everyone was engaging in social justice, and it felt like an upward trend of evolution you know and when you compare and contrast that to right now, where we are right now, like we are backsliding so much. And like, there, how do you find hope in that? How do you find hope in people, wanting to backslide on the rights that we fought for all these years, and that, our uncles and aunties and ancestors fought for? Like, we're suddenly so close and on the precipice of true actual change, and suddenly we're backsliding like to a great extreme, like between Tradwives and Andrew Tate, whatever his name is, passport bros, like incels. I think that's the word I was looking for, but passport bros too. But just that whole like genre of alpha male and sigma male, this, like, it's just, why are we back here? Why are we allowed to be here? Like, back at that stage of, you know I'm a man, and woman must obey. Like, why are we back there? I don't love it. It's very like disheartening, but it's like all wrapped up in this like TikTok funsies, scroll past it and it won't affect you package, which is sort of true until it gets into like, the national laws and stuff like that. It's like the backsliding, it's just not fun. And but that's not even what I wanted to focus on. But it's like, it's really that kind of stuff, coupled with like capitalism and, you know just daily like life, the things that I have witnessed or heard of being experienced even in the last few months, and especially like what's going on in the news cycle every week ever since Trump got reelected, which, how did that happen? But it's just like, it's like the effect that it's had on society, and just even what I see within, my own friend group, or, you know, just the people around me. It's like there's a level of like defeatism, a level of, oh my gosh, like we are never going to be free. And I don't know, the contrast between like how it is right now and how much we believed in change, like back in like 2016, 2017. It's just, I miss it so much. I miss how bright everybody used to be. And I don't mean to say any of this in like a who everyone is now like just totally sucks, because that's not true. We have made such amazing progress, but I feel like we are, like, the light in everyone has dimmed a little bit. And not because of like anything, obviously nobody would want to experience anything that, kind of dims the light in their eyes and in their spirit or their soul. But it's like those are the things that are happening, and it's sad to see. It's sad to, look at, your friends, or look at your parents or your aunts and your uncle, and like see the loss of innocence, see the loss of a dream. You know what I mean? Even when you like level it down into something as basic as engaging in a hobby, or engaging in, you know a career that's like an art career or a singing career, and it's like, people looking at you still, even with how available and accessible the tools are, and more than ever, to achieve like great success with, creative pursuits. It's still something that's like, because of like late stage capitalism, you're watching everyone's dreams kind of shatter, or not even shatter, but fall to the wayside. You're watching everyone go through something so horrific that they do not have the time to get back to themselves. And that's sad to me. That hurts me. That hurts me. Because just as someone who likes, I was going to say as a creative, but like just as someone who likes to do creative things, you know, it hurts me that, loved ones can't engage in that. It hurts me that other people can't engage in that, because so often there are creators or artists that I used to love and support. And then over the years, you kind of fall off. You don't really see them on the timeline anymore. And then you go, something sparks, like, hey, you remember that person? And you go and you look, and they aren't making videos anymore. They aren't making art anymore. You know, the book they had planned never came to fruition. You know, it's sad. It feels like a liminal space in a way. Like you show up to somewhere that was so full of life and bustling before, and now it's kind of empty. And in that respect as well, it's not that it's necessarily empty, but rather than it was purposefully shut down, you know? But in a lot of cases it feels like it wasn't on purpose. Like nobody loses themselves on purpose. Nobody lets go of their hopes and their dreams on purpose. You know what I mean? And I don't mean this to sound so dramatic, but it is kind of something like close to my heart. Like I always wish that people can stay connected to their art, connected to their hope, their inspiration. You know what I mean? Because those are the things that transformed my life. Those are the things that, like, anytime I've been, you know, just completely under, it's the promise of creativity, the promise that art transforms, that kind of brought me out of where I've been. And I wish, like, I miss it so much. I wish that we could get back to being able to prioritize those things. You know what I mean? On the flip side, I'm also very happy that, kind of, we are still on the precipice of change. It's just, which direction is that change gonna go? Like today, it's election day. I feel like the most defeatism comes from, like, elections, and feeling like your vote doesn't matter. And while that feels true, that definitely feels like it rings true all the time, they want us to believe that there is no way that we can make change. And it's simply not true. Like, it's just not true. It just takes such a concerted effort to do, but it can be done. And it's like, that's the promise of we do have the power to make change. Like, we were given the power to make change. Like, that's exciting still, you know because even at an individual level, you do have the power to make change, even if it's in your own life. You have the power to get up and choose something different. You have the power to reclaim yourself. You have the power to reclaim your life. You know what I mean? You have the power to choose a different path. And whether it's alone or it's in a group, we do have that power. It's about remembering that we have that power. Remembering that there are people who benefit from us not being happy. They benefit from us thinking that there's no way that we are ever gonna see change in life. They benefit from us feeling like we're never gonna be able to buy a house or rent an apartment or be able to afford groceries. They benefit from us feeling like we have to make the poor choice because there is no other choice. And that might even just be basic, social justice rhetoric, but it does ring true. Like, there are people who benefit from us not knowing ourselves, not knowing the people around us, not knowing, our left from our freaking right. They benefit from us not being united, you know? Like, that's why protesting is such a threat to, you know, whoever, like government officials. They don't want us to congregate and inspire other people, you know? They don't that doesn't benefit them. They don't mind that capitalism is the way that it is, that you have to work like 2 jobs to get by. Why? Because it benefits them for you to be, you know, depressed, disassociated from yourself, from your loved ones, you know? And I don't know necessarily if it's possible. I do believe that it is possible, but sometimes what you believe is the reality turns out different. But I'm choosing to believe in the reality that we are and will make those necessary changes, and you know coming back together and being hopeful together, being filled with love and being filled with light and spreading that. You know what I mean? I am not somebody who necessarily likes to spread hate, or I don't like hearing it. I don't like hearing like hateful rhetoric to those who don't deserve it. And I feel like a lot of issues right now, like if you go on Twitter, it's like everybody just hating on their neighbor. And it's like, you don't have to do this. Your gun is aimed at the wrong, just aimed in the wrong place. That smoke that you have for the random TikTok influencer who's not bothering anybody, your freaking local TikTok influencer, the smoke that you have for him or her or whoever is not, it's aimed in the wrong place. It's aimed in the wrong place. And we used to be a little bit more loving than this, or at least publicly. Like, it seemed like everybody used to actually move with a bit of couth about them. And that seems a little bit like it's missing, I guess my point really is, like, I want us to get back to loving ourselves. And that sounds so vague. I feel like everything I say sounds so vague. But, I want us to get back to being hopeful, being filled to the brim with hope, believing that the art that we make, the songs that we sing, the joy that we experience is going to have a ripple effect and make a change in the world. You know what I mean? I want us to bring that back. I want us to believe in something again. I want us to believe in each other. I want us to be able to believe in the people who represent us. I just wish we could get back to that hopeful, joyful, creative energy. And with that being said, I think my yapping is done. I think my yapping is done. And I hope if you've watched the video this far, that you come out, feeling even a little bit inspired to, engage in your art, engage in what you believe in, engage in being full of love and spreading that, that peace and that joy wherever it is that you are going. I'm so awkward towards the camera for no reason. But I love you guys, and I thank you for watching this far. And I did record a different video before, like a few weeks ago, but I think I'm gonna re-record it. I didn't love how it came out, so be on the lookout for that. There's at least one more video coming to you, you know. I love you guys. I'm so awkward towards the camera for no reason. But I love you guys, and I thank you for watching this far. Let's make a change. Let's make a change. And let's believe that we can make a change.